A 12-year wait is finally over, and I bet you Czechia, they were just fine with those 12 years of the NHL being away. Canada, on the other hand, they were amped, coming away from their opening game of the Olympics with a 5-0 victory over Czechia. And we are here to break it all down. Fellas, we got Jesse here, we got Thomas here, we got Luca here. I'm back here for these Olympic breakdown shows. This is the first one that we've kind of done. So if it falls off the rails super quickly, it's because it's just funnier that way. But also because...
It's never happened before in one of our shows.
Never. No, never. I'm going to be clear here. And
Deep dish is overrated.
We're all ready. I'm going to be clear here, and I want to know if you guys agree. This is going to be pretty vibes-based as far as when we do these reactions. I mean, you guys, you had some wonderful analysis as well, but like... I don't know, man. I'm just hyped to watch Olympic hockey again.
But we are so back.
And just vibe, man.
And Canada played a great game today.
They did.
They played really well.
They did. Well, okay.
So we're not breaking down the neutral zone regroups.
You can if you want, but if it gets boring, I can
spend a lot of time in my prep about that.
I can.
Let's talk about the storylines.
We'll talk about the storylines, and we'll probably get into some X's and O's as well. A little bit of a disclaimer off the top as well. Guess who scheduled a dental appointment right when Canada was playing? This idiot. There. This dumb. So I saw 6 minutes of this game. So that's why I have questions. And just like you in the audience, if you somehow have not watched this, I'm actually listening very intently to get the answers because I missed almost all of it getting a root canal.
What is your dentist doing though? Not having the screen above you when you're the dentist.
He was rocking just like some radio, but we should have had the game on. I know.
Yeah.
You could hear it.
No, we were listening to rock.
And it was like a solo radio? Like he's got the headphones in?
No.
Boom 97.3?
No, it was like some rock
saying.
station, and then he started saying stuff where it's like, I had all these tools in my mouth. He's like, Oasis is overrated, and they suck. And I was like, anyways.
Yeah, like he knows that he can say these hot takes you because you can't respond to him.
Insane. Anyways, the hockey.
It's torture.
It's torture. Speaking of torture, crazy segue here.
What?
But with Binner. Everyone thought when they
don't
looked
know where you're going.
Well, wait for me. When everyone looked at Canada's depth chart for the Olympics, that was the torturous part. I mean, Logan Thompson, he's actually doing very well, so I should kind of take that back. But as far as the rest of the team went, it was clearly the most lopsided as far as where Canada would be the most stacked. We wait all this time, and it's Binner who gets the first start. And after the game, I did see that part. John Cooper, he went and he said to Kyle, it's like, I have been aware of, Binner being the guy from the very moment that they won the Four Nations. And that's very clear in the fact that he was selected because he's done so, awful during the year. But anyways, 26 save shutout. Are you impressed enough with him now that I can finally look at all of you and be like, nervous? Do I look nervous?
I thought Binnington looked good today. I mean, he wasn't like that contested, but when he was contested, I thought he held his own. I mean, he had a shutout, and on top of that, I'm kind of just a little confused overall. Not confused, but it's like goaltending so far through the first 2 days has been interesting, right? Like we're seeing Italy's goalie played really well. Slovakia's goalie played really well. I think if you stick any of Canada's goalies in net, they're going to be successful because the team is that good and they're not going to give up that many chances. But I do think that when Binnington was challenged today, he held his own. There was a couple plays that you're like, that one almost went in. But for the most part, I thought he was fine.
I thought he was solid. I think I really gained confidence when they showed on the broadcast his 3-minute ride in a golf cart where he completely stared down the barrel of the camera
Was it
lens.
intense? I haven't seen this, and
it was
now
very intense. It was creepy, is what it was.
Kind of scared me a little bit.
But he was being funny.
Your goalie needs to be a bit of a psychopath.
Yeah,
I actually won't have it. I won't have it.
That's what makes him good. When I saw that, I'm like, yeah, he's going to be good for Canada again. Like you said, Jesse, he did what he was asked to do. I don't think this game changed the way we view Binnington by any means. I think we still view him as this man, he's been really bad with St. Louis this year, but we all remember how good he was in big moments in the Four Nations last year. And then obviously he's a cup winner and he kind of has that pedigree of in clutch moments, he can be a good goalie. So was today a clutch moment? No. Did Czechia have some good chances in the first period in particularly? Yes. And I think Czechia actually, for losing 5-0, they had 26 shots on goal. I think at times they tested Canada's defense, Canada's goaltender. So kudos to Binnington. I think that's a 8 out of 10 performance that you can kind of be happy with through one game.
Was the word clutch pissing you off? Is that why you snickered there?
Yeah, like I think the whole thing about him in important games is just like, yeah, he obviously won the cup in his first year and won 4 Nations tournament with Canada.
Obviously did all these amazing things.
But no, it's 2 singular amazing things, but it's just like I think
2 of them.
Goaltending in particular. It's 2 really
Two's
amazing
more
things.
than 0. I don't know. If you
2
can do
is
the
more
math
than
there.
0. I was talking to Riz about this, who's behind the camera though. It's just like,
And Alexi.
isn't every game important? Like clutch
No,
moment.
actually,
Some are more important than others.
Some are more important than others, and I
literally,
don't disagree
A
with that.
Thursday night, November
So,
28th.
Here's where I disagree with that. And I think for him, and if you're asking St. Louis Blues fans, is every game important? Yeah, I would think that like when you are viewed as this clutch guy and you have one moment on your resume when your rookie year and you have
2.
a 4 Nations tournament final, because we've talked about it. He wasn't great throughout that entire tournament. So there are whatever. You can argue the merits of it. Like his playoff postseason experience hasn't been great since that cup run either. He has not taken the Blues very far. He's been there, I would argue, one of their best players that they've had and probably most relied on players that they have. The question is, though, are you still nervous? And I still am. I'm not like 100% ready to be like, yeah, all the goaltending problems are solved, and we're not going to know the answer to that question until probably the semifinals when they play another good team.
I think that's relatively fair, but the rules state that I must destroy one part of your
Yeah,
That's just how
destroy it.
this works.
Destroy it.
And not even really. I mean, because I know we don't want to spend too much time on Binner because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
talked a lot about it
No,
pre-tournament. And at the end of the day, he got a shout and he did all right.
He did great today.
He's the Joe Flacco of goalies.
But I will. It's a good thing. But what I will say before we get any NFL analysis there, I don't know, man. I do believe in tournament players, and as far as like, I think because the NHL hasn't been at the Olympics for a while, maybe as far as like the hockey lexicon goes or the thoughts of it, because the NHL playoffs are not the same as tournaments. There's way more games in NHL playoffs than in actual Olympic games. So similar again to soccer with World Cups and things like that, like there just are players who, with a smaller sample size, where these guys can get more dialed in, and again, the mental side of being a goalie, where you always kind of have that weird, crazy energy and be consistent. I do believe in tournament players, and for me, I personally think I've had a little bit of a less of a
So he's not Flacco. He's Ochoa, the Mexican keeper.
Literally fine, yeah, exactly.
There's another comparison.
So I guess this is kind of where the conversation goes to. Is it a thing that like until Binnington proves otherwise, like he is the guy at this point, or are they going to play Thompson tomorrow? And if Thompson also gets a shutout, are we kind of like
You just going with the hot
who's going to
hand and
know?
what to do.
It kind of seems like to me like
think
it's
if-
Binnington's until he loses.
Yeah, I think if Cooper
seemed
comes
like
out
it
and
with
says
the
that
comment.
post game, like he's the
Yeah,
guy.
that
Like I don't
seemed like
think,
it.
and there's
I
nothing
agree.
that he did in this game that would suggest that he isn't the guy. No matter what Thompson does against lesser competition in Switzerland tomorrow, if he does start, like there's no way you're not going away from him unless he probably has 2 bad games in a row in group play. Like I don't even think that once the quarterfinals start, like there's no way he's getting out of that net unless he gives up like 5 and they win 6-5. But even then, I'm also just like, I don't think Cooper's gonna make that big of a decision going into a semifinal.
It sounded like, especially from that post
Yeah.
interview, like Binnington has been his guy for a long time.
Like he would have to crap the bed in the rest of the group play to and they would have to probably lose one of those games too to even make
And
this
as
a
we know,
controversy.
Right, it was like back to back.
Yeah, which I just don't think is gonna happen.
And as we know, none of the group stage actually matters.
it doesn't. Because they're
Because you
gonna
can
be
lose
playing
all
in the
you want.
quarter. Exactly.
It's
Like,
pretty much just like.
so wait, so to go back to
pretty
your
much
point,
like it just
so these aren't
just-
actually important games.
No, they are. They're huge.
So Canada, but Canada is
They're actually massive.
Canada's so good that like it doesn't even seem like is their goaltending gonna even matter?
I kind of agree.
I think this is the part where it's like the defense was so impressive as well that I don't think it's going to matter until a semifinal with like a Sweden, a Finland, or a USA.
I say this in jest, of course. All these games matter. These guys have wanted to play in this tournament for so long and prove themselves, and especially in game 1. But yeah, the results at the end. There's a lot of tweaking that they're able to do, that they've been afforded the ability to have because of how the tournament is formatted. But anyways,
For sure.
You want to know how you know you're on Team Canada? The fact that you're being scrutinized after getting a shutout, and that's just the pressure of the situation. You got to be the best of the best. So I want to know from you guys, who do you think was the best today? If it wasn't Binner for you.
You know, I mean, obviously, like, I think we agree we're not going to talk about McDavid here. Like,
Yeah,
McDavid was obviously really good.
Silence on
Well, like
You're
guys
not allowed.
like McDavid and McCarr were like incredible today.
Yeah,
Sure.
they were really good.
But a guy who people maybe weren't expecting to be as good as he was today was Thomas Harley. I mean, he was an absolute dog today. He led Team Canada in ice time. I think he was the only player with over 20 minutes, unless I'm wrong. Had 2 assists. And now you talk about Josh Morrissey, who I'm so gutted for, potentially getting injured. That pair, like Harley's pairing now, is going to step. Harley is going to be a very relied upon defenseman for the rest of the tournament now. Like the whole back end for Canada kind of changes if Morrissey is injured. So I was really impressed with him. You know, last year he came in during Four Nations, was great. No moment seems too big for this guy, and I'm very aware with him just ending the Jets season last year as well. But he was great, and I feel really confident having him in any situation for Canada in this tournament.
Harley's a funny one because maybe it's just because we live in Toronto and he plays in Dallas. We don't hear about him too much. But for a defenseman who's 24 years old, to be as good as he is, to already have international experience, I feel like he's not talked. Maybe it's just because he doesn't have the flashiest offensive game. But I find it weird that he's not talked about enough amongst the like elite young defenseman in the NHL, and I think he should be in that conversation. And I think with how much Canada is going to rely upon him in this tournament, he'll probably vault himself into that conversation. For me, looking at someone under the radar who I thought was very impressive, I'm going to go Bo Horvat. I think this was, maybe it wasn't the sexiest pick to have him on the team, but as your fourth line center, and who knows, maybe it wasn't even in the plans originally for him to be playing this role because a guy like Cirelli went down with an injury, but he's been so good for the Islanders this year. He only played 10 minutes tonight, but I thought he was very effective. His goal was great. Mm-hmm. Just showcases exactly why you have a guy like this, because he can play multiple roles,
so fast,
but also
man.
he can burst up the ice, and when he gets one-on-one with a goaltender, he's going to find a way to score. So I really liked what I saw from Bo Horvat, and I think if Canada continues to get depth scoring like this from a fourth liner, who's only playing 9 minutes, they're going to go really, really far in this tournament.
You just toss out the term fourth liner, it feels like, for like the top teams, even though you literally are.
Well, sometimes today there was Bennett, Marchand, and Reinhardt on the ice together. It's like the fourth line.
Which I guess it does make sense in roles.
But these guys are coming off back-to-back Stanley Cup championships.
It
It's
is
just
fun.
crazy.
Luca, who'd you have?
I think there were a lot of impressive players. I'm going to go with your boy from Montreal, Nick Suzuki, asked to play the wing, a position that he doesn't normally play. I think you're going to see him as the tournament goes along penalty kill a little more like Bo Horvat did. I mean, he took the only penalty for Canada today, so didn't get to kill that one off, but he made a great play on that McKinnon goal that was called off. I didn't really think that was a penalty. We kind of talked about it, but as the game went on, I feel like the McKinnon, Hagel, Suzuki line looked a lot more dangerous. It took them a little more time, and I think that makes sense because when you look at the Four Nations team, McKinnon never really played with Hagel, and Suzuki being a newcomer to this team, it makes most sense that line was probably going to take the longest to gel a little bit. Like, I'm not surprised. And actually, we're going to talk about most impressive lines. You can put McDavid in that conversation with 2 new line mates that he had never touched the ice with. But you're not surprised, I think, that Crosby and Martyr and Stone looked really good. And then Marchand and Bennett looking well together. So I thought Suzuki just did a great job of doing all the things that made him successful in Montreal. He's so good in those moments where it's just like his defensive game is responsible, back checking and positional play and outlet passes and just being in the right spot. I think he's going to just continue to gel with McKinnon and learn where he needs to be in those situations. But to see him get a goal, I think it was really deserving for him. He played a great game.
It's encouraging too.
Yep.
Like, you see him that high in the lineup, and then he scores a goal. Playing,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think two other guys as well. Like, well, we got to give props to Mitch Marner on that pass.
Yeah.
To Stone.
Yeah,
That was
Marner
incredible.
looked great. That whole line was unbelievable.
Stone just like continues to look really good. Like, I agree, there were a lot of really impressive players, even Celebrini as well. Like, nice to see him get on the board. But
How'd the top line look to you guys, as far as and this is a genuine question because I'm going to have to go back and watch the whole game.
Great.
It's incredible for them. Again, so their skill sets are also different, where McDavid is obviously, like, they scare you in a bunch of different ways. Like, McDavid obviously has the speed and the skill, and Tom Wilson is just like a bull in a china shop where you can just destroy you. And then Celebrini's a hound on the puck, and if you leave him alone for like 1 second, he's going to rip something into the back of the net. So they all complemented each other so well, and it was really impressive to see how, like, fast they gelled. Never seemed, from the drop of the puck to the end of the game, that they had any hiccups. Like, they knew where they were going to be. They knew how their skill sets could mesh with each other. They created so many chances. And obviously McDavid's like the center of that.
This really is such a cool example of like what we've really been missing, because you just don't get this with the World Hockey Championship, unfortunately, because guys are resting or they're in the playoffs. And obviously the World Juniors, you get the best juniors, but man, like when you look at these four lines and you just realize that a team has to deal with just rolling out of all these guys, just McDavid down the center, McKinnon down the center, Crosby, and then Horvat, as you guys have mentioned, like it really is crazy.
And then when they got a power play, it got even crazier. Like to have all those guys
Yeah.
at the same time.
It feels like cheating.
And also, you think that Tom Wilson is the guy that you have to worry about. McDavid absolutely laid the body in his first shift at the Olympics. That was a huge hit.
He created more chances than Czechia did, according
on
to
his own.
Yeah,
like 14 to 12?
14 to 12 of like scoring chances.
McDavid was
That's how it
amazing
was
today.
charted. He was unbelievable today.
Yeah.
I was saying to you guys during the game, like, I wonder how much input, if any at all, I imagine he had some, McDavid had with John Cooper and the coaching staff of who he's going to play with.
He's got to have a pretty big one, no?
But I think when the lines first came out, we were all like, what? McDavid with like Tom Wilson? It just didn't compute, but it seems like he almost handpicked these two guys. Be like, all right, let's go. Give me the young kid. And then give me Tom Wilson out there. And they looked incredible. I thought that they were the best line today.
What do you think, just quickly before we move on? Because, like, obviously this game was kind of out of hand, but when they get tighter and maybe a closer game in the third, what lines do you roll out? Because, like you said it, the depth is obviously a big part of it, having Crosby and McKinnon and McDavid down the middle, but what lines do you load up? Who do you drop down?
It's like the Four Nations.
Conversation.
Four Nations, there was a point during the U.S. games where they were just rolling, was it like two lines?
Yeah.
Because like Crosby playing on the wing at that point.
Yes,
exactly.
Which people think might happen in this tournament.
Exactly.
At some
I was
point.
going to say they'll probably move Crosby up maybe for Hagel. But then at that point, like, does Suzuki still go? Because like Martin and Stone were great.
Martin and Stone were outstanding.
Reinhardt's also playing on the fourth line where he was playing like further up the lineup in the Four Nations. So
you could stick Stone up instead of Wilson. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches, and I don't think like that's the biggest issue for anyone. And obviously, if the games are close, you're going to shorten your bench anyway. But it'll be fun to see if they do get into a close game, like what the lines look like in that scenario.
Embarrassment of riches. It is a problem for other teams, and one of those teams, obviously in Czechia. Like, as much as we're trying not to have us just pat ourselves on the back here as if we've personally done.
I mean, it's hard in a 5-0 game.
It is hard, but at the same time, the reality of it is, like, I will say, being someone who watched 8 minutes of this game and will watch the rest, I am curious of that 5-0 score line. Like, do you think that was really indicative of what you really felt about how Czechia performed? Did that feel like a real 5-0 loss? Because a lot of people were looking at them like, okay, fine. If they just put Natchez on the same line there with Pasternak, then, okay, you're a little bit limited. But if you spread it out, it could be kind of dangerous. They have like a ton of, obviously, like 2-3 goalies they could technically run, but Dostal being a guy who could steal games for you.
He was great today, too.
Right? It didn't work out that way at all in game one. And I'm going to be honest, I thought 3-1 was more along the lines of what we would see today. And that's not at all what happened. But either way, long way of just saying, do you think they were better than that scoreline show? And what do you expect out of Czechia going forward?
I know we were talking about it during the game. Like, I think depth just kind of takes over in these tournaments. And, like, Canada, like, you look past Czechia's first line, and then you look past Canada's first line. And Czechia's first line is very good, by the way. That 3 really good players. But then, I mean, it's just not even close if you look deeper in the lineup. So I'm not overly surprised by the score today. Like, Canada is so much better than Czechia. But one thing I will say is surprising. It's like, you'll see, like, a lot of these games have kind of been pretty close so far. Like, even Sweden, Italy was kind of close. Switzerland, France was close for a bit. Slovakia upset Finland. Like, you just never know what's going to happen in these games. But, I mean, Canada just proved today that they're clearly the top two at probably the best team in the tournament.
I think one thing that hurt Czechia and why the game eventually got out of hand, I thought in the first period they were actually very good, kind of held their own, and they generated some high danger chances, and then Canada scores with 5 seconds left. And then again in the second period, Canada scores with 30 seconds left. It was in the last minute or so. It was another late goal. So it's like, it's tough when you're the inferior opponent and you're hanging on, and you're looking like you're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then that light ends up being a train, and with 5 seconds left in the period, you end up going down. That's tough to rebound from, especially when you don't have a lot of talent.
So you're saying when I go back and watch, and I just watched the last 5 seconds of the first period?
Yes.
Okay.
And you'll see Macklin Celebrini with a very impressive tip on a laser from Cale Makar.
Okay.
Because after that first, you were kind of like, okay, Czechia's kind of like in it right now.
Yeah, and then the second and third I thought was just completely all Canada.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was more just a more impressive showing by Canada than like an indictment on Czechia almost. Where I think like you look at Canada's D-core.
That's crazy because before we got in here, it's like I can't wait just to indict Czechia when we get in there, and you were like,
I know, I was really going.
He also said he didn't understand the pun on the ticker.
No, I know.
I didn't.
We thought that was good
I
work.
didn't get that.
He didn't understand.
Vibe check.
He had another recommendation that was terrible.
Yeah, that was mine. That was mine alone. Flew over my head. But no, I truly think like the Four Nation. I think people might have had more questions about the D-core coming in of like, oh, you didn't want to make like any changes to the Four Nations D-core. Like you wanted to bring the same ones back, and for as much talent as Czechia has offensively, like it felt like Pasta didn't do much today. It felt like Nate just didn't really getting a chance to just put his head down and skate, which is his best ability, get in the zone, create off the rush. So it wasn't just Makar and Taves. Like I thought Doughty was really good back there. Him and Harley played together in the Four Nations a bit, so that chemistry is already kind of built in. Fedor looked awesome. Pareko looked great. So it really was more of an impressive performance from Canada than I think. I think Czechia is still a really talented team. Might take a couple games for them to show off that talent, but just to shut those guys down was really, really impressive.
It's going to be an interesting night when they go back to their single-sized beds in the Olympic Village there.
Which team are you talking about? Because it ain't Canada. Canada's staying at a 5-star hotel. They're not messing around.
That was the joke, with their beds assembled from IKEA.
Enjoy your...
Seen the picture of the Olympic Village? I would like to see an update, because I remember back in the day, they definitely looked very dorm room-like, which like vibe-wise seems great. Like if I were an athlete, I'd kind of want the full experience regardless of what I was accustomed to, but I totally understand
when you're used to like
those beds look not.
Elias Pettersson was FaceTiming his wife, and he showed that it's like the width of 3 iPads. That's how wide the beds are.
That is small.
And I know like people make way too much of this. Like it's not gonna affect like anything. Like it's totally preference. Who cares? But I kind of want to be in the Village. But then again, that's why I'm sitting here and I'm not on Team Canada.
Victor Hedman.
That's why you're sitting here and not on Team Canada.
It's actually got nothing to do with the fact I can't skate backwards properly. If only I didn't have
Victor Hedman is 6'6" and he's sleeping in one of those beds.
Like he
broke his.
His one
How many have they replaced?
Might be wider than the bed.
Which one? Anyways, all right, moving on. Josh Morrissey.
Whoa, you're done.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go there.
Yeah. We already did. Trying to get off it now, just like those bets. All right. So, Josh Morrissey,
poor guy.
Unfortunate, like as you said.
Yeah, tough.
Yeah.
It didn't work out for him in the Four Nations either, and
he got injured in the playoffs.
Like not good luck with this, and we still don't know the severity of it as of this timing of the podcast. So hopefully he's all right, but maybe you'll see an update in between. But
he's such a beauty, man. Such a nice guy. Honestly, like just gutted for that guy. Hopefully it's not too bad. Yeah, it sucks.
And obviously, there's going to be some shuffling around in case that happens. But I mean, he was clearly one of the strongest parts of that decor, and it's weird, It was kind of being spoken about as if, and it was probably because when you look at the forward lines and then you look at the pairings, it just instantly does feel like a bit of a weaker point, even though it's so stacked. If there is some shuffling, though, where would you want to kind of see the moves there if Morrissey is out?
I think Thomas Harley's definitely going to, he played the most today, but I think he's going to be relied on even more. But my one thing was, like, watching today, I was very surprised that Shea Theodore was even the 7th defenseman. I thought that was a role that was going to be kind of earmarked for Drew Doughty if he wasn't even going to be the 8th defenseman. So to see Doughty playing top 6 minutes today, I think caught me off guard a little bit. tomorrow's a back-to-back. I'm sure even before this Morrissey injury, they were planning on bringing Sanheim in and rotating and keeping everyone fresh. But I'd expect Shea Theodore to just kind of
and play with
right up that.
Play with Parayko though. Like you don't. It's Harley's not going to play with Parayko, and then Doughty will play with Theodore. It seems kind of like Theodore's just going to move into Morrissey's
exactly,
place.
exactly.
And then your second pairing is basically going to be Harley and Doughty.
Correct.
Yeah, even if you want to call it a second pairing, I mean
Yeah.
The ice time was pretty divided evenly between those three pairs. But it's interesting. Like Morrissey, you lose that puck mover though. You lose another fast guy on the blue line. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and not to say that Theodore is incapable of that because he obviously quarterbacks the power play in Vegas. So it's not that he's not capable of being an offensive guy, but I do think there is an element that you lost, and maybe this is where you question, should we had a seventh defenseman that maybe was an Evan Bouchard type of player? And I know he's a righty and like how that all works out, but maybe that's what you miss here. I don't know.
No, I agree. For sure.
I think we've already sufficiently covered possible line changes, which is down there on our ticker as the last thing. So I'm going to kind of tweak the question a little bit as a final thing here. If you could kind of have a little dream line of your own, because you can have some experimentation in the next few games, especially because, they're taking on Switzerland tomorrow. Not that, again, these are all just free tests and these guys are going to go hard, but you can experiment. If you had the chance and you were John Cooper, what's one line that you roll out just to see, I don't know, I want to see what that looks like.
McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon. They got to do it on the power play already.
Yeah. Just for the picture?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was literally the goal today. It was McKinnon from McDavid and Crosby.
Spoilers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Damn.
But other than that,
maybe McCarr plays forward. Get him out there.
Nice.
What is that? Okay. All right.
I'm totally kidding about that.
A man can dream.
That's not my answer.
A man can. No, it was. It was.
Are you?
It was.
I don't know what my next answer would be. Maybe like McKinnon. I know.
That
was probably
what's
Am
your
I
tone?
banned?
No, you're
okay.
not.
Well,
You're not banned yet.
maybe this seems silly to say now, but it only has been one game. But when the original line combinations came out, I don't think Suzuki, and I think he played well today, I don't think he should be playing on the wing. I just don't think that fits his game. And I think Crosby has that built-in relationship with McKinnon, and he's shown that he's willing to play on the wing before. I would move him up to the second line, and I think Suzuki should be the third line center. Maybe you lose a little bit of depth, but I think you gain so much by putting Crosby with McKinnon. So I would say that's not a full line. Dream scenario, Celebrini, McKinnon, Crosby.
that's nice.
You know how engaging like behind the scenes like features are, and we get it. How much would you pay to have the behind the scenes look at Suzuki going up to either McKinnon or McDavid? Like, hey, I'm just thinking, maybe I should play center. What do you guys think? Instead of you two.
You guys are disrespecting Nick.
No, I just mean like,
he's
what
gonna
would
lift the
that?
cup.
I gave him a ton of respect.
What would that look like? You think?
I think McDavid would look at him and say, "Well, you do play for the future Stanley Cup champion.
I think he would say.
You are going to probably lift the Stanley Cup before me. You do whatever you want.
You're
on this
right.
team.
I could see
Honestly,
all of that happening.
I'll play as the 10th forward, and you just take number one
There
center.
you go. Yeah, there you go.
That conversation worked out well.
Trying to get some kernels out of your teeth? What's going on?
There's always stuff. There's always stuff in these jibs, man.
It's insane.
There's always stuff
very
in these
loud.
jibs.
All right,
Let's go with. Wait. Oh, yeah, I don't get
Sorry, we don't have enough time. Jesse was picking
Oh
his
my
teeth.
god! I'm gonna go because you guys talked about all the good forwards. I'll go like Tom Wilson, Sam Bennett, and Brandon Hagel. Just the ultimate.
Not even
like,
Marchand?
You just
Well, no, because Hagel has more speed than Marchand, and like he's also not afraid to like he's got a little more skill than or not even Marchand is like amazing. Sorry.
Whoa!
time marker.
Time marker. Marchand is amazing. Like the pass he made to Horvat on that play where he kind of fakes like he's going to dump it, moves the defenseman wider, and then sends it to the middle, and Horvat's just streaking in. But I think Hagel's more of a pest as far as just being quicker in foot speed, so he can just like get in the corner first, hit everything in sight, and then you've got Wilson and Bennett that can also do the same. So yeah, that's my dream lineup. But Marchand's amazing. Sorry.
Also, Matt.
Maybe even Marchand with Crosby and McKinnon.
do the Halifax line.
exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That seems
the
like
Nova Scotia
a
trio.
natural
Yeah.
pick. Can't believe you froze up before there. That was the obvious one.
know, man.
You're
It's
too
something to
busy.
just-
with
But
with the Orville
Crosby,
Redenbacher.
Crosby and David McKinnon is also a nice line, no?
Yes, yeah.
They
No,
still just got, they kind
It's
of
not bad, eh?
It's all right. It's just okay.
And big ups, by the way, to Suzuki. I was kidding. He's great, but also this is the Olympic number 10. Respect.
Yeah.
I like that he went for that. 10 just looks good in international play.
He's just the Jonathan David of the team.
But I'm just saying he wouldn't.
Say John LeClaire.
No.
That would have been a crazy pull for him.
I met John
know.
LeClaire before.
What did he say to you?
He's just a mammoth of a human being.
Is he?
You say Nick Suzuki should
He's
be the
just a
number one
big
center?
guy. Like,
John LeClaire.
yeah, he's big. Like, well, a lot of these.
I don't remember him being that long.
I don't remember him being that big.
Does he just have like big meat hooks?
Yeah. Yeah. he's
Are you sure you didn't see Zach Edey?
When I say big, like compared to me,
I think he's
like
not
I stand
that
beside him and I'm like,
I think
oh
he's
man.
He's got like thick hands.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
just like-
okay, maybe it
remember
wasn't
him-
Zach.
I don't remember him being that
He was
big.
imposing.
I don't either. I thought the whole point was he was like a
We
big
look.
Yeah,
we
he was
we look.
kinda like
this up.
undersized.
Quickly, yeah.
Look up John LeClaire.
Can
I
you-
thought he was
I'll
big.
look
like,
him up.
He's probably like 5'10", 200.
Yeah, like I thought he was
pounds.
undersized.
No, he's definitely
but-
taller
looks
than 5'10".
Pretty angry.
He's taller than me.
I like it. Okay, 6. What is 6.03? Is that 03
Oh, he's
of
six.
an inch?
He's 6'3", 226.
No, he's not 6'3.
No, he's
6'3. 6.03.
Isn't 6.03
Look at me,
6
Zach.
feet?
6 feet 3
No,
inches.
no.
Wait,
he's
no,
he's 6'3".
6.03. Why did they put 03? That's confusing.
He's 6'3"?
He's 6'3.
Yeah, that's pretty big actually.
Thank you guys. I'll accept
think
the
he was that
apologies
big.
after.
I didn't think he was that big either.
Maybe it's just because, in the picture he's always tilted. And that's a good way to tell someone's height.
Oh boy.
Guy's a cup.
I can't believe I spoke and said he's a big guy when I met him.
Last piece of trivia before we get out of here. How many points did he have in his career? You're staring at my screen, so you don't get an answer.
What do you have, like 722?
883.
It's a pretty good guess. 819.
Oh wow.
You were
400
actually
goals.
were you
No.
closer?
Didn't make.
722?
He's not in the Hall of Fame, is he?
I don't
No,
think so.
he's not.
He was just like, if
But
you
he has
got
a cup.
his card when you were a kid, you're like, that's a good card.
Hall of
Who do you win the
Very
cup with?
Good.
The Habs in '93?
Yeah,
Hall of Very Good.
He did.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Hall
He
of
did. And then
Pretty
he
Good.
played with the Flyers for a very long time.
yeah.
And the
He was
Penguins.
the captain of the Flyers, wasn't he?
You thinking of Eric Lindros because they're both huge.
No, I'm
they're
not.
such
I'm
big
pretty sure he's the
humans.
captain of the
Now
Flyers.
I'm questioning how tall Eric Lindros was because I thought he was.
Lindros was a beast. He was like
6'6".
6'6".
We don't need to be here anymore. Anyways.
LeClaire was the captain during the Leafs series.
Okay. Well,
Lindros was the captain for Canada.
Yes.
Canada's taking on Switzerland. The next time you'll see us, I don't think it'll be after that game, but you'll be seeing us throughout this tournament, especially during the medal round, because that's when, as Luca said, and only Luca, that's when they actually count.
That's when they actually
I
count.
think he's the one that said every game matters.
So Z said no games are important for
have completely
players
swapped
playing
this
for money.
narrative.
End
So
the podcast.